next awardee for today is Annapurna, who's the head of Human Resources and Admin, India, South Asia, and Dubai for Global Talent Acquisition, FIME India Private Limited, and also the founder for Emotionalytics and Co. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. It's a very overwhelming time for me from the last 1.5 hours because for me, Santosh, Mishma, and Aparna are not new. I have worked with them, and it was a great time we all spent together. Santosh is a man of energy, and he's so contagious with him. Whenever I meet him, whenever I talk to him, he's a man of action, and everything what we discuss overnight, it will be converted into an action. That is what I have seen him. And brother, you have unstoppable. That's what I could say. Aparna is a person of lot of patience, perseverance, and it was wonderful working with Aparna also on our initiatives. Thank you, both of them. And of course, Mishma is now again, she's continuing to do a good work. Thank you, Mishma. And definitely, it's with deep gratitude to GCPIT and the whole of the team who has also selected me for this award. I am very much happy to be amongst you all. Of course, I have been a HR leader and I've won so many awards in my lifetime, but this is very special to me, and recognizing at a global platform and recognizing the work. Sometimes what happens to leaders is you silently keep on doing a lot of work, and then suddenly someone comes and recognizes your work. As I think Rajiv was saying, the way the whole of the process was done, when the entire world is spreaded with a lot of awards, but here is someone who is doing a very meticulous work, understanding the background, understanding through our interviews, questionnaires, deeply working 300 applications and bringing it to 17 is not at all an easy job. Kudos to Aparna, kudos to Santosh and the team who has worked behind over there. And definitely for me during this pandemic, I think Uma was talking about emotional intelligence and leadership, and I think 2 years back never I knew that something like a pandemic would hit for us, but I was very much vocal about emotional intelligence because what I saw in the corporates lacking of emotional intelligence and EQ amongst the leaders was something which I couldn't this one. So I started off Emotionalytics, which is thoroughly doing a deep work in emotional intelligence space. And definitely I think someone else, Somdata, was speaking about women empowerment, which is very closer to my heart. And when I speak about women empowerment and when I speak about this award, I think first of all is kudos to me from wherever I have come through, and today I'm there. I come from a deeper part of Orissa, and I'm very happy to always be recognized in any platform that I'm a tribal woman from deeper interior part of the eastern part of India, where we grew up with the epidemics, where we are a child survivor of many epidemics and things like that. But I came up and with great education, with great parents, great support, great in-laws, great teachers and mentors. I think today as we sit and if I have to give gratitude, I think everyone around me who has touched my life, I think deep gratitude to everyone. And for me, leadership is all about entrepreneurship is all about entering the ship. That's what I would say. Leadership is all about lead the ship, and lead the ship with friendship. Make friendship wherever you are a leader. Either you are in a corporate space or in your entrepreneurship journey or the entrepreneurship journey, whatever it is, but lead that ship with friendship. And I'm sure that you can have a massive sustainability in whatever you would like to do it and do things. With these few words, I thank all my winners of across the globe. It was amazing listening to each one of you, each of your work, the deeper work, what you do, and the ideas and the ideals, what you are carrying with. And I'm happy to be a part of any of your projects which will touch, and especially wherever you are going to work with women or emotional intelligence space. Just a shout away and I'm there with you guys. That's what I would say. And once again, with great thanks and deep gratitude, I remain here and I humbly accept this award. Namaste from all me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Annapurna, and congratulations to you on winning this award.
Thank you.
So,
good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you are joining us from. Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade, or GCPIT, is proud to welcome you to this special interview series in connection with the Global Emerging Leaders Awards 2022. I'm Aparna G. Kumar, the Global Co-Chairperson of GCPAT and your host for the show. Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade is an organization based in India, South Africa, US, UK, and UAE with board and council member representation across the world. We at GCPAT believe in fostering leadership across different levels. Recently, we have been reflecting on the significance of perspective in our role as leaders. When we advance from being an individual contributor to a leader, our perspective starts changing. We gain access to new information, have conversations with new people, and think about things in ways we didn't have to before. These changes or learnings have immense power, and we believe that this interview series will help us and many aspiring future leaders to gain new perspectives, especially global perspectives from these emerging leaders. Today, we have with us such a leader to tell us about her perspectives on leadership while leading her venture. We have with us Ms. Annapurna. She is the founder of Emotion Analytics, right? I hope I pronounced it right. Emotion Analytics and Co. and head of HR and admin at FIME. She is a complete strategist and execution-oriented HR professional with 20 plus years of experience. Always worked in different business models comprising both public, private, ranging from hardcore infrastructure, manufacturing, aeronautical, sales, IT, and health. She has always been a change agent in all organizations and has mostly executed greenfield projects and built the organizations by driving organization development, effectiveness, and leadership. Her expertise lies in talent acquisition, talent development, talent retention, rewards and recognition, leadership development, organization development, managing the entire life cycle process of human resource. She is a strong believer of productivity, quality, safety, and security with always a plan B. Congratulations, Annapurna ma'am, for being nominated for the Emerging Leaders Awards. We are proud to have you with us today. Welcome to the show. Ma'am, I think you have to.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining us today. And I know you come with amazing experience. I have seen your leadership when I was working with you. You were the chairperson of Women Entrepreneurship and Empowerment Wing of CMSME. I was just a national joint secretary then. And I used to look with awe how you used to initiate things, manage the teams, and take things forward. I would like to hear from you to begin with. How did your journey begin? And what is your background and what are you currently doing?
So nice to ask that question, Aparna, and it brings back to me the complete roots. And whenever this question comes to me, I feel that it's such a nice thing to answer this, especially because we should never forget our roots. And I have been from a very, very humble background with great parents, great family, first of all. And I was born and brought up from the east part of India. To be said, it was the most tribal part of the state called Orissa. And I myself considered myself as a tribal woman also. And the journey began from there. And of course, great education, great parents. And, somewhere down the line, I also had this mission to become a doctor, a medical doctor. But then I think God had some other plans. And then I took up the studies of human resources. And then I got married, and of course, my journey started off in the, corporate. And today, as I sit in front of you, I complete almost 27 years of my corporate journey, and that too only in the human resources, but with 11 different organizations, understanding different perspectives and things like that. And especially, sometimes we need to be proud of ourselves for the journey, what we have done. And looking back for me for the last 27 years from where I was and from what background I have come. And today, as I sit in a global seat, I feel very much proud by telling that, hey, this journey was not easy, but then I have accomplished it. And I'm further pushing ahead myself. So that has been my, background. And I just wanted to put it in these 2 sentences and leave it with that.
Thank you so much for sharing that experience. And when I was working in your team, as I mentioned, I was new to this global environment and I didn't even know many of the terms which people were using around me. So if you had to pick 4 or 5 words or short phrases to describe how a successful leader in a global environment operates or behaves, what would they be?
A leader should be a very inclusive person. That's something in a global. If you're talking about leadership in a global perspective, a global leader has to be very inclusive, where empathy should be at the highest core. And as I practice emotional intelligence, and I feel that every day for a leader, it is very important to practice a lot of emotional intelligence. See, we all are born with good IQ. We develop our IQ in schools, colleges, or corporates. But what about the EQ? What about that emotional intelligence? And today, many of the leaders are lacking, or they're not utilizing this emotional intelligence. That's where they're also getting disbalanced or imbalanced. So I would say that have a great IQ, having a great EQ quotient, being inclusive, and putting empathy at the forefront. These are some of the things which today's global leader, I mean, it is a must have, not that sure I know could have or good to have. It is a must have. These are things.
Yes, I read somewhere Forbes was saying the latest study says that leaders should be empathetic, and I think that is one of the very important qualities a leader should have. And how would you describe the differences in the organizational culture between a global environment and a more local or regional environment?
Right. So while we talk about global versus local, see, one is the laws of the land must be respected wherever you are. You need to know what is your current role, where are you, what is it, everything. And at the same time, globe is our landscape. So we do not limit yourself to the particular region, or telling that, okay, this is what it is, this is how we are. Today, the day is gone that we are doing business only in a very local space or something. We are supposed to act local, but think global. That is for sure. And when we are trying to do this, multiple cultures. So my day begins with mails coming up, people calling up from from Taiwan, from China, Hong Kong, Korea. So the sun is up already over there. Then we come to see that, okay, we are trying to talk, we are getting into the Indian workforce. Then we start seeing with that we are talking with the France people. Then we see that we are talking with UK and US people. So imagine that you're already sitting in one place, local place, and you're already traveling everywhere. Now, the same type of strategies, or the way we talk, or the way we communicate, or whatever we do is not the same. So we need to customize our relationships, our communication, understand, be sensitive to which region, how we are trying to talk about it. And if there is a festival which is going on, say supposing we are having a national day which is coming up in US. So if we are conversing with them on that day, please wish. So it is so much so that we have to become personalized in our communications and be sensitive. And today, the business calls for the entire global landscape, and we are one amongst them. So to bring a good collaboration and synergy, we need to be highly inclusive and highly sustainable to become a global leader. This is my take on this, and I sincerely practice this.
I totally agree with you. And how was your company's purpose evolving?
Sorry, towards the
how is your company's purpose evolving as years go by with your experience?
Yes. So I will talk about the company which I am now heading as a HR over here, and we are into the payment domain. And we are into payment gateways. For us, it is very important that we are into the testing and certification of this payment domain gateways and things like that. For us, one transaction, one testing also cannot fail. That means it's a zero defect. Okay. So when we talk about 100% Six Sigma, that's it, because we are dealing with payments, and none of those can go error. So it's 100% error free and things like that. Now, while we do this, we try to see that we adhere to this globally. Number two, digitization is the only way. So financial literacy, financial digitization is bound to happen. We all have become a party to it. See, like it or do not like it, during the COVID time, all of us have got into FinApps. to do every transactions, and we are very happy with it. Our grandmas are doing, our mothers are doing, we are doing, and our children are of course doing it. So that is there. So for us, the purpose for us is to see that all our payment gateway systems are authenticated and nowhere we should fail, because it will really disrupt if we do something like that. So this is the main purpose of the organization, to see that we are constantly adhering to this, and of course we are doing good.
And since you mentioned digitalization, my next question would be, how should companies approach digitalization?
So I would say digitization is a planned strategy. It's not something that you get up in the morning and tell, hey, this we are doing it everything manually, so let us bring some app and put it across and then start digitization. Never it can happen. Any function, any business, it should be a planned strategy and priority strategy. What to digitize, how to digitize, and what will be this outcome of this digitization. Will it improve the process? Will it enhance the productivity? Will it get us to be performance at the max of it? Will it help our customer? I, as a provider of something, whether, like if you and I are there, Aparna and myself, you are there, I am providing something for you as a digital tool. Is it going to be really helpful? Number one. If it is not helpful, you will not use it, that one. You will never ever download, or you will not go for it. Number two, have I been empathetic and used the concepts of design thinking to really design a product for you? If I have not used, then I don't feel digitization is going to help. There are thousands and lakhs of apps. Why don't we download all of them, or why don't we navigate to them, or why don't we use them? They're not friendly for us. They've never been designed for the way we wanted to use it. So these are things. So digitization is a very large concept. It's just not making an app, or it's just not bringing a tool, or it's just not putting something into the cloud or emerging technologies or something like that. It's a big thing, and it is a completely a board strategy, wherein we need to see where we can digitize, how we can digitize it, and how do we go plan by plan. And as I said, what is the outcome of it? What is the maximum benefit of it? That's something which is very important.
Great. And what was the most challenging difference in leadership or culture that you had to understand and overcome in a globalized economy?
Yes, it's not easy when we are trying to work with the multicultural organizations. This morning also, because I have South Asia, I have Dubai, I have France, all of this and all, and leading global talent acquisition across 10 countries. So it is very difficult to really understand. So definitely, I put a lot of effort to understand what is it, the real needs of that region. So when I'm devising a policy, when I'm devising a plan, or when I'm devising some performance structure or something like that, I really need to get into the understanding of the whole thing. So definitely there are challenges because we just can't trust anything to anyone. What works in India will never work in Saudi. What works in Saudi doesn't work in Dubai. They're so different. So similarly, even within India also, so many times when we juggle between north, south, east, west and things like that. So exactly there also, when we're working with intercultural matrices and people and things like that and all, understanding what is it for them, understanding how things run there, and always it is better that don't estimate anything. Go with a blank mind. Tell them that, hey, I have never been to this land. It's okay to tell that. I have never been to your land. I don't understand what it is. It's so please, orient me to this. And self-reading always helps us. Self-knowledge always helps us. And see, being ignorant is not right. But getting knowledge is something we have to know the sources. So sit with them, spend time with them, understand those things. And then, of course, you will have the initial challenge, because it's in no man's island, you're landing there. But navigate properly with the right tools, with the right people and the right ways and methodologies. I think everywhere you can get into that, and then get to know the roads and pass through the journeys and things like that. It so happened even in the last 8-10 months also, because when I am doing it, probably I have committed some new mistakes also by my own self-estimation. Probably this works, this doesn't work, and things like that and all. But having seen the result, then I understood backward that, hey, it's not supposed to be done like that. I think I should really go and sit with them to understand a lot of that. and the business is not the same way, the policies are not the same way, the people management is not the same way, the culture is not the same. So it's a effort which we have to put voluntarily and needily.
It's such an amazing experience. What advice would you like to give to someone who has taken a senior leadership role to become more impactful in the role they have taken up?
Absolutely. One, I would say, constantly develop your EQ, which is very important. Second is be an agile leader. Okay, you have to be, agility is the only mantra. You just can't tell that, okay, everything I have set it up, this process is set, why is it not happening like this and all? No, you have to be quick on the move and be agile, start taking decisions and all. Situational leaders, emerging leaders, we are all there like that. So do not get tagged off by telling that yesterday it worked, why it will not work today. It will not work today. Today it needs a different way to see things in a different way. So be a situational leader, be an agile leader, be an inclusive and sustainable business leader, understand business, it's which is very crux. You may be in any function, at the end of it, business means profit, business means people. Two P's are very important, and when you're not holding these two P's, then it becomes very difficult. You have to integrate both people and productivity and or profitability, whatever you would say that. So for an emerging, for a leader, it's quite important that manage your own this one and be resilient. You may fall back 10 times, it's okay, but then do you have the power to come back again, showcase it, and dirty your hands? Most of the leaders are feeling that when we have become a leader, we should not dirty our hands. Go back to those roots, dirty your hands, be an agile person, pick up things, and be inclusive, try to see what is it, and every process should be seen that whatever I'm doing, is it sustainable? Ask a question there. If it is not sustainable, then I think there is a question for us to back to think that what is it we are doing right or wrong in that. So these are some of the things I think, and I would say, Aparna, what worked for me 20 years back, how I did it, how I led organizations, what is it? Today, it's again challenging. It's not the same way. It's not those things which are working again. I need to see new ways out. I need to learn new things again. And am I ready for that? If I'm not ready, then I think I will not be able to handle the situations. So that's
totally agree with
open
you.
mindset.
And, yeah. Yes, right. And what do you think? How do leaders learn this? Are there any training or resources such as coaching or mentoring to help them be better leaders, or is it just a lot of practice?
No, one is coaching. Of course, leadership coaching will help. Having said that, I would say that if you want to swim, learn swimming. You can't sit on the shore and see someone swimming or read a book or something. You have to dive into that water and learn how to swim. It's the same thing. Being a leader means if you want to get that leadership title or lead anything, you need to get into that, swim across that, see what is happening over there, your own experiences, and what is happening. A bit of coaching, a bit of training, a bit of learning always helps us. But to get the best out of you, as the iron gets beaten so much to bring it into that nice this one gold or diamond or whatever you call it, the coal gets done. It's the same way. Get polished, get polished, get polished. So try to be in that water, swim in the water, and learn how to emerge.
And how can we make use of these resources to the broader leadership team within the ecosystem? As leaders, we attend a lot of trainings, we get coaches and all those, but how do we make it?
See, anything if you learn, it will be sustainable, or it will be with you only when you practice it. It should become your second habit. And for becoming that, it is not the organization will provide you opportunities, but the self, am I that one who is wanting to practice it, put it into place, and go forward into putting all these tools, structures, or knowledge, everything, and learning by myself? Or I just had this great amazing training, everything and all, coaching experience and all, but I'll go back to myself? Then doesn't help. And today no force can help. No external force can help on anyone. It is the internal force, internal motivation. I am the driver for myself. Today I have to get up with all energy and come back to work tomorrow morning. Means it's me. How do I put up that? And how am I disciplined in my life to manage my time, manage my priorities, manage my passions, and love what am I doing? Or if you are not loving what you're doing, that means there's something wrong. At the end of it, you're not happy. And all said and done, each human being wants to be a happy individual. So am I driving that happiness? If I'm not happy, then I can't deliver anything. I'll be strained.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, right. Ultimately, happiness is what we all aim to achieve. And what have you learned from leading in this crisis? We saw that all the businesses were affected globally during this pandemic. So,
Yes.
what is your experience?
COVID is something which none of us have seen. I mean, a pandemic like this, none of us have seen. In my childhood, I have seen an epidemic because as I told you, I was belonging to this Adivasi village. So we have seen, lot of epidemic, and I'm also a child survivor of those epidemics. So that itself was too much for my parents and us to go through that, and then, coming out of it. But as pandemic like this hit, I think none of us knew what kind of reactions or responses we have to give. We all got panicked because we didn't know how to handle this crisis. But has this crisis taught us good lessons? Has this Black Swan event left us with a lot of lessons? I think it is still teaching us lots and lots. So I think the first and foremost thing what this COVID crisis or this pandemic has taught is health is the priority. When we tell about health, it could be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, whatever you call it. All type of health is very, very important. Second is being a leader. Can I see, empathy is one word, but I'll tell you a very simple word. Can I help? Are we those helping individuals or not? Are we seeing that there is someone else is in some crisis? Are we affording that help or not? Because there are certain people who have told that, hey, these fellows have got COVID, let me put door on them. So are we that, or are we those individuals? So help is something. So we have to, again, some of them have really gone down in this COVID times. But is there a way how can you spiral up? That means, have you built enough resilience in yourself? So which is, again, COVID is telling that any crisis can be dealt if you have built a good resilience muscle in yourself. Yes, the dark clouds are there on us, but they will swipe out. We will have a good day. How did we all pass on these 2 years? We also ourselves do not know. We all underwent a lots and lots. And is there a sharing companion? So listening. So I started something like a listening hours. So whenever people come, I'll try to listen to them. What is it? What are they trying to say and things like that? Because can people listen? So these are all some of the things I would say that this crisis has really given us a lot of opportunities to learn, and enough more opportunities it is giving us to learn. How do we survive our business? How do we survive ourselves? How do we survive with others? Jobs, what is the nature of the jobs? What is this great resignation which has happened? No one ever thought about it. What is this talent movement which is happening? Is there something which is going to come up again? Things like that and all. So I think we are all just wriggling out slowly from that whole thing which has happened, and we are trying to evolve some kind of strategies for ourselves. We don't know whether they're going to work or are they the real strategies. It's time for the time is only way we can see that it will tell us whether we are on the right path or not, and things like that. But definitely I think it has left with us a lot of lessons for us to learn.
And as an HR leader, how can we, or what do you suggest? How do we promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace as leaders?
That is my favorite topic, and DEI is next to me. I would say that, and I'm very cautious and conscious whenever I do anything. Being a HR leader, I have a lot of scope to promote DEI, and either inside or outside whenever I this one. So there is a DEI mannerism which we have to first of all acknowledge. So diversity, equity, and inclusion is something which is a mannered approach. And so you, as a leader, one will be having a lot of opportunities to really make an impact on DEI. So for me also, either it could be talent acquisition, either it could be giving promotions, or giving scope, or anything, whatever it is. Also, I do not miss out any opportunity to see that, is there a woman, is there someone who's especially talented, or something else where we can be constantly seeing at them and try to integrate them and things like that and all. So DEI should not be another tick mark for any organization or any business. It should be an integrated and inclusive approach while we deal with business. So we are not telling today, as I stand, my statistics shows that we have more women than men in our organization. Yes, happy to have that, because many organizations may not have. But is it a statistical point for me to see that am I now neglecting the other gender? What is it I'm trying to do? So it's always a good balance. How do we really correct those balances? How do we correct this? What kind of opportunities are we giving? And how can, all said and done, can we bring an inclusive workforce? So, and that is a continuous journey. As leadership is a continuous journey, DEI initiatives or DEI integration is a continuous journey. Yes, I don't feel any country has done too great or too less. I would say everyone is on that path because of their historical approaches and because of their backgrounds. Some have progressed high, some have progressed less. But for every country, it is important, because all the countries have realized that inclusive workforce brings up their GDP high. So there's no way that they can neglect anyone. So they have to be there.
I think that was a great thing to touch upon. I think we should have a detailed session on D&I, right? You have such a great experience, and I also always believe there is a lot to do. People just follow it as it's a tick mark, as you mentioned. So I think we should do a lot of sessions for creating awareness and making more and more people follow this. And before closing, what would you like to advise the entrepreneurs who are dreaming to be successful in the global market?
Entrepreneurs, yes. My journey as an entrepreneur has been exciting, I would say. It's not, and it's continuing. And I really learned many things. I was a HR leader, but always this entrepreneurial cap has been exciting. Thinking of the business, thinking of this one. And for me, one thing is very important as an entrepreneur. Please don't think it from your end at all, at any time of your life. Think from the customer's end, which is so very important. Either it could be a product, service, cost, whatever you wanted. The moment you are able to put yourself into the customer's shoes and think from their end, what is it they require? Don't try to sell what you have. Try to understand what they want. And then when you really put that into your plate and start doing your devising your products around that or services around that, I think then you're there. Number two, don't ever constrain yourself that the landscape is only your geographical country. Entire world can be your customers. Reaching out to anyone is easy because today technology has enabled us. And I myself have conducted 2 virtual emotional intelligence summits wherein I could call anyone from the world. It was just me. So don't refrain yourself from reaching out. Go ahead, reach to people, make connections, make networks, make things, and try to do it. Learning, constantly learning. Don't think that it's all. See, I know, yeah, entrepreneurs will be thinking of finances. We will need to do things and all. Finance is very important. If definitely you need to make money and things like that and all. While we make money, are we having long-lasting customers with us? Are we having repetitively coming business with us? How is it to these things? So for me, the take as a global entrepreneur is think from the customer's angle, position yourself, your products and services from the customer angle. Don't try to push away things to them. It will never go. And be sensitive to finances and definitely retain the customer for long. These are some of the things I would say.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your amazing experience and amazing journey with us. And as you mentioned, great leaders need to be continuously developing their EQ. They have to be inclusive and they have to be agile, resilient, and empathy should be at the core. And love the concept of listening hour, which you mentioned. I think, as I mentioned, D and I we should take it as a separate session altogether. And I have been looking up to you, and you have been one of my role models and my leadership journey. Thank you so much. And we hope this discussion today would be very helpful to many aspiring future leaders to gain new perspectives and climb the success ladder and become good leaders.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Aparna. It was wonderful meeting you and discussing very interesting topics which are close to my heart always. Thank you, Santosh. Thank you so much.
And as you know, we are on a huge mission now, a mission to impact the lives of 100 million entrepreneurs. We would like to invite you to join us and be part of this game-changing mission, Impact Mission 2030. As you know, Santosh always brings in new initiatives and he has a huge vision. And our aim is to build a global community of great leaders from 190 plus countries by 2030. And to our viewers, if you're interested in this mission, you can mail us at contact@gcpat.us or find us on all social media as GCPAT Global. Join us as we come back with another emerging leader to inspire us and share us their perspective. Till then, this is Aparna G. Kumar signing off. Thank you once again. Ma'am, thank you for joining us today. Take care. Bye-bye and have a great day.